Top of the morning to you. This is Monday with Friday, wishing for you a good week ahead. Last week, a person seeking to be President of the United States said this: "If a President of the United States does not have immunity, he'll be totally ineffective because he won't be able to do anything, because it will mean he'll be prosecuted, strongly prosecuted. So the President has to have immunity." I hope I did that right. It instantly occurred to me that perhaps this man, whose vocabulary isn't renowned as expansive, may have mistakenly used the wrong I word. As a matter of fact, any other American presidential candidate ever, from George Washington down, with the probable exception of Andrew Jackson, Richard Nixon, and Vivek Ramaswamy, would have used the correct I word, in which case their statement would have sounded like this: "If a president of the United States does not have integrity, he'll be totally ineffective because he won't be able to do anything honestly, because it will mean he'll be prosecuted, strongly prosecuted, deservedly. So, a president of the United States has to have integrity." Doesn't that sound honorable and presidential? Neither concepts of which the speaker who used the wrong I word is familiar or concerned. There are some immensely foolish people, both in America and beyond, who think that they might be able to sleep well the night after the world ever had such a misfortune of making that man president once more. That includes the so-called evangelicals who want to catapult him to that most powerful office in the world. Poor unfortunate souls who terribly misunderstand their very nomenclature. For as history attests, when such people take power, even their one-time supporters become their victims. Ask any of Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un, or Saddam Hussein, or Vladimir Putin, or Manuel Noriega's generals and right-hand men, if you can bring them back from the dead. No person who is truly evangelical, literally a good news person, should choose for a leader of anything a person who favors immunity over integrity. A person who possesses integrity never has to worry about immunity from accountability, that is. But let's be very sure that the rest of us are gravely endangered when a person lacking integrity gains immense power with absolute, unchecked, and unbridled immunity. Such a person would be rendered unaccountable to anyone for anything. That, by definition, is a fascist, a distinct danger to humanity and the whole world. Not even Jesus escaped accountability to God or obedience to his parents as a child. And he certainly never sought immunity from the cross. I saw on TV an Iowa evangelical voter who clearly prefers that candidate who desires total immunity. This voter looked into the camera with pride, as if he was saying something profound with a big smile, when he declared in defense of that candidate's innumerable legal, moral, ethical, racial, fascist, and reprehensible deeds and utterances that God uses all kinds of people and has used and will use this man to do God's will. That man was saying something profound, all right. Something that should be referenced as being profoundly verbally fecal. This proud ignoramus doesn't realize that this increasingly common fallacy makes the misguided, heretical, and dangerous case that God chooses evil to bring about good. Segments of the political party with which this man is throwing in his lot have already declared that God even creates evil to bring about good. Both of those are madness. We should repudiate the evangelical thinking that imagines it is God's will to reject scores of people who favor integrity over immunity, to choose one who clearly and wantonly lacks integrity and wants to do mischief without accountability. This narrow and grotesquely misplaced Old Testament-ish reading of select scriptures extrapolated from context and without submitting it to the entirety of scriptures and wisdom and common sense is dangerous and has consumed too many good people who identify as Christians. Now, before somebody cites Judas as an evil person God or Jesus chose. No, Judas was as good as the other 11 disciples at the point of being chosen and for the majority of the 3 years that he walked with Jesus. It was only later, as the Gospels attest, that, quote, Satan entered into him, unquote. The church has spawned some of the world's best thinkers, developers, and servants. I have run into many of them. However, as a clergyman for 41 years and a church member for more than 60, I am sorry to say that religions and church have both spawned some foolish, shallow, unrealistic, and otherwise impractical thinkers across the globe. And hear this: the more evangelical or conservative they are, the more incredible I have found their thinking and potentially radical and dangerous their behavior, especially when they marry it to political power seeking, including their vote. I'm Michael Friday, and your week just got better. I'll see you again soon. Happy Monday, all the way to Friday.